The great thing about being hidden is that you can be underestimated. And when you're hidden and you're underestimated, you're able to do some things that will not only change your path, your life, but the lives of millions of people, the ones around you, your children, your family. It will uplift and change everybody and everything. So what I say to you is, if you're struggling and you're fighting to be seen, sometimes you're supposed to be hidden. It's not your time to be seen yet. Stay the course. Learn what you can. Walk in the path that you're supposed to at this time. And at the right time, God will reveal you, your talents, and everything you've done to the world. In the meantime, prepare.
Hey everybody, I'm Cedric Hawkins and welcome to the CedTalks Podcast. My guest today is an old friend of mine back from school, and quite frankly, I see this guy doing some real big things in his future. I'm looking forward to what he's going to bring to the table today, and I hope you guys are touched by what he has to bring today. So without further ado, I give to you Mr. Asaun Hudson. Asaun, welcome to the show.
What's up, Cedric? How you doing, bro?
Good, man. Good. How you been as of late?
I've been good. Been relaxing, working, doing a little bit of everything, but it's been good.
Yeah, man, I feel you. I remember we were talking and you said you would be so happy and just down to be on. And I really appreciated that enthusiasm because, we came up together in a way. Even though I graduated a year earlier than you, I always noticed you in school and noticed how, driven you were. And so in my mind, I was thinking I have to have you on the show. So once again, thank you so much for your time for doing this.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you for, getting me on the show. I've been watching your podcast and seeing what you've been doing. I appreciate it. I think podcasts in general are just like a cool thing for everybody to get involved with. So yeah, man, I'm excited.
Yeah, it's something different and it's something unique. Like before the pandemic happened, I was gonna give another sermon at my church, so I was really building up towards that and looking forward to it. And then the shutdown happened, and I was like, man, I really had this great sermon, I had this great speech. I was gonna give like a really great message out there to all of my, my inner circle, my friends and family, and it got pretty much ruined because of COVID. And so I sat down on it and I thought about it and I said, wait a minute, what if I started a podcast? And then that way I could still get my thoughts out there on a day-to-day basis. So that's the genesis of the CedTalks Podcast. And I'm glad that it's touching you and that you listen to me on a frequent basis.
Yeah, and also what you made the most out of it. It all has to do with perspective when you really think about it. Because things can go as bad as they want to, but so long as, you can look at it in a certain light, it can't really change things for you,
Yeah, I've always tried to adapt the mindset of take what you have and make it something great, even if it's completely awful and terrible. If you can find a way to turn something terrible into something great, then it's just magic. And so that's my piece of advice I guess I'm giving right now. But, it ain't about me. It's all about you. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you my first question. When COVID first happened back in March, how did it affect you mentally?
So at the time I was working I was in school. I was at CSM, and I was, doing classes and for that. When I first heard about it, I wasn't working at the time. I was already home, so I was kind of already living a lifestyle. I was very, introverted to myself a little bit, not doing too much. I kind of threw back my whole college experience a little bit. I wasn't really ready for what had to come with the online classes and all that. But, it did wrench my college plans a little bit for sure.
Yeah, I feel you on that because I was at CSM also, and I was going to graduate that semester. So once the shutdown happened, that just put a wrench in all of my plans, and it was very devastating. But, at the same time, I was pretty much happy because I actually got to be home, and I really enjoyed that time being at home because just the constant grind of going to school and sitting in class for an hour and a half, it was just draining for me at the time.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, did you adjust well to the online class aspect of it? Because I know some people, it took a while for them to get adjusted to it.
Right. So I'm going to be honest with you. Especially at first, really like to see what's going on and ask a million questions to understand something. So to be online, it was kind of, it was very different for me. I know that was always an option before all of it happened to do online, classes, but I never opted to do any of them because I much preferred to go to classes.
Right. I agree with you in that sense. With me, I was already taking online classes to begin with before the shutdown happened. I had been doing online classes prior in the summer. So I had that experience. So in a way, I was more prepared for it and it was easier for me to adjust to it. I guess the one difficult thing for me was there were some professors that tackled on more work on us just because we were online. Like that aspect of it, I
Well,
really couldn't stand.
yeah. But you know what? While all that was going on, too, I noticed something about myself. With the whole school thing and college and all that, I was really going through the motions of school, just because I felt like it was something that somebody had told me to do. It was a good idea for me to do. But I know everybody now works on, different time in a way. It's like, just because everybody else is doing this right now doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it at the same time. And going online and trying to learn that way really taught me that, maybe I should probably hold out or just wait till all this gets a little better until I, can learn on my own time.
Yeah, I'm glad you touched on that too, that, sometimes we do different things just because people want us to. Like with you and university, you were pretty much going through the motions. It was just something that you did because you felt as if people wanted you to do that. I can sympathize with that because my major at first was computer science, IT. I only did that because a lot of people in my family wanted me to do that. And so I thought in my mind,
Yeah.
okay, they make a lot of money, money is everything. Like I need money, but as I started getting ready to go to CSM, I just realized that, wait a minute, money isn't everything. It's not going to give me happiness. I have to find something that will make me happy. So I'm glad that you came to that realization.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, money does not make you, overall happy. I'm starting to notice that too as I go on.
Yeah, so what was your plans in the fall? Did you go back to CSM this fall?
So no. So what I ended up doing was my whole mindset at first was accumulate as much money as I can possible to save up for school again. But also just to make money to help out at home and all that stuff. So I started working instead. So I've been working from that time till pretty much now.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Do you prefer the work aspect of life more, or do you also miss going to school and whatnot?
So yeah, I 100% miss going to school. I just miss the environment of just learning, but I'm starting to realize that because I learn things every day. We live in a day and age where it's like we have so many things accessible to us that we're just that we're able to learn. So I mean, I feel as if I have the pleasure of living this day of age to kind of learn something every day, kind of experience that school aspect I did. I appreciate that about school, but with work and stuff, I feel like the aspect of just working and getting up every day to do something to earn money. I really like that aspect of it. It taught me a lot and a lot of morals I think I've gained from it, and it just builds character. So I really enjoy, right now I can say I'm enjoying the working aspect because I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds with it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I remember being in school and I didn't really have a job. I was working with, my grandfather to bring some income in, but my mind was solely focused on school. So once I graduated, I thought, like now I got to get a job. I don't really think I have a really strong work ethic. But once I started doing these different jobs that was in my favor that I loved, I realized, okay, I have a pretty strong work ethic. Plus, I'm doing what I love, and that's all that matters. And if I'm doing something that I love, that's going to keep me motivated to continue going to work, even on the bad days when it's not a pretty great day. I always have the mindset of walking in tomorrow knowing that tomorrow could be a better day. Matter of fact, will be a better day. No negativity. I'm putting positivity out in the atmosphere.
Right.
Yeah. And From my conversation with you, you seem like a pretty soft-spoken, well-mannered guy. Would you consider yourself to be more of an introvert, or do you consider yourself to be more of an extrovert?
Um, I think the core of me, like who I truly am, I want to say, I want to say introvert. I want to say introvert, but I feel as if I can be pretty outgoing. I think I do a lot of self-reflecting and recuperating by myself, and really taking time to see the bigger picture of things. And I kind of do that in solitude by myself. As much as I like being around people and socializing, I really do appreciate the moments where it's quiet. So yeah. I would say from that alone, probably an introvert. Also, some of the the morals I've developed from church too kind of led me to just really sit down and just think about things too.
Yeah, same here. I would consider myself to be an introvert with extrovert qualities. Obviously, I'm sitting here doing a podcast. If I was really, not secure about myself or shy, I wouldn't be doing something like this. But it's like you said, I love having quiet time. Like with my quiet time with the Lord, that's at night or that's when I'm meditating. It's just me and him, and he's speaking knowledge and truth into me. And that's my time to self reflect on my life and see what kind of changes I can make with it. So I definitely connect with you on that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, you seem like a very to consider yourself an introvert. You seem like an outgoing guy.
Yeah, I would say I'm outgoing, but my battery dies down pretty quickly. Like yesterday, I did a podcast, and then once I got home, I was like, man, my social battery is just dead. Like I am so tired. I didn't even stay up until
Yeah.
12 o'clock for New Year's. Like I just straight up went to bed at 9:40. I'm such a loser. But it's all good though. But talk to me about your faith. Your relationship with God. Was that something that you developed as a child, or did that come later on in your life?
Right. So I think, not I think, but since the age of 8, I was going to church, and I was introduced. My family isn't necessarily religious, but it was me, my brother, and my sister that would go. We go by ourselves, and this is about 8. I think I was going to my church all the way from 8 to, I want to say, like 17, 18. As a matter of fact, it was my first semester of CSM when I really stopped consistently going all that much. Probably had a span of a year, 9 months to a year when I wasn't going. And then I just picked it up not too long ago. I want to say maybe 5 months ago.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. I had a foundation of, just God being in my life.
Yeah. What made you drift away from that period of time, away from the church?
So, there was an incident that had happened with my bishop, and I was pretty good with going to church even when I had my seasons of going through the motions of just going, because I would have times where I would be 100% in, and then the next time I would kind of drift away, or I would just be doing my own thing. I would still go to church, but nothing really derailed my faith, I would say. But when it came to my pastor, I always looked up to him as an idol, a father figure. In a certain sense, he was somebody that I really respected. And when something had occurred that kind of, slightly took that respect away, or, made me think a little bit differently. This is besides the church. It had everything to do with, our relationship. But because it was so church-oriented, that kind of bled over into that. It was kind of surreal. And, it really hit like a soft spot for me. So instead of tackling the problem head on, if I'm being honest with you, I ran away from it. It wasn't the best idea, and now I reflect on it, but, I'm back in church now. I'm going to a completely different church, but, yeah.
Yeah, I can, connect with that in the sense that running away that's always been my go-to solution to any problem that I have. Is just whenever I feel bad about something or down about something, my defense mechanism is to run instead of talking about it head on. And over the past 2 months, I want to say, I've learned that, being more open and honest about how I feel, right? Being transparent, that's what helps get those bad emotions out into the atmosphere. And then that way I'm able to heal and move on from it. So I definitely understand what you're saying there.
Yeah. And I've also realized too that, like you said, because you're understanding what I'm saying. Other people too have gone through something similar. Because for a while I was like, man, what am I doing? I felt like the only one. Like I was really messing up. But it happens to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think another thing that I also really connected with you and resonated with you on was the fact that in my, early stages in the church, well, not early stages, I was about 16, 15, 16 at the time, 17. I was also a little going through the motions at church also. I was there, but, I knew God, but I wasn't really living my life for God. I wasn't really connecting with Him and talking with Him on a consistent day-to-day basis. But the fact that I'm saved by Jesus Christ. I'm covered in His blood, and He protects me. That's what saves me, and that's what brought me back to Him at that one point in my life when I was 17. So I'm glad that you're back in the church and that you're back following, God again.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, your podcast, I think, are great. I know the relationship people should have with God is kind of similar to this. It's like you're just talking to Him, developing a real relationship to Him. That's what I really like about your podcast in particular. It's like it's always good to just somebody needs somebody to talk to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'm just all about having a conversation with people. I'm not out here asking any controversial questions, any crazy questions, putting people on the spot. I'm just here kicking back and relaxing, just having a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. And one of the things I've been asking people who are very religious is that if they feel that God placed this pandemic on us to really just reflect on ourselves and just create more. Is that something that you agree with?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think that does anything by accident. I'm 100% sure that there's a reason why all this is going on. Do I know? Not necessarily. Do I understand? Not necessarily. But I'm sure there's a great reason why, even though we might not see so. Sometimes things have to kind of be broken down to build itself back up again, but with a stronger foundation. Just that, with people, it's like the same thing. Sometimes we go through scenarios in our life where we're just at our lowest point, but that's when we're able to grab on to something that's so much stronger than ourselves to come out of that so much better. So, depending on how everything goes, and I'm hoping it all goes well, but I'm sure that the years to come, the epidemic definitely should have brought us together a little bit more. Has the potential to, for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when this is all said and done and God feels a need to lift this pandemic up and He places that vaccine on us, I really do hope we learn something from this, because it's just been a difficult time. It's really unprecedented. It's hard to go out and just connect with people like we usually did before this. Like if we weren't in a pandemic right now, I'm sure without a shadow of a doubt, you and I would have met up. We would have done this face to face some way, somehow. But I mean, it is what it is. We just have to continue to walk, continue to stay prayed up, and just stay safe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, the scenario should never have to change, but our perspective definitely should. I've been really big on that thought process that my free will just allows me to have the ability to think whatever I want to think and go about whatever however I want to go about it, regardless of the circumstance. So, yeah, for sure, I think we're going to be good.
Absolutely, man. Hey, talk to me about your childhood growing up here in Calvert County, Maryland. I want to know your perspective on what your life was like as a child here.
Yeah. So I was born down here. I've grown up down here all my life. never been out the country or anything like that. Honestly, Maryland, I've been out the state, but Maryland primarily is the only thing I really know. My experience as a child with them, it was really good. I can't really say how much to complain about. Things that happened that actually happened in my life, as a child that I wasn't too happy with. But, in retrospect, just looking back on all of it, I'm much appreciative of what happened and what went down from, the people I grew up next to the school I went to the people I got to know from school and the teachers and just developing the relationships I've gotten. And the church that I was going to down there as well, too. A big part of my childhood was synonymous with church and Jesus. So I think that really helped me a lot growing up, too, because I could always come back to something or, trust something that at the time as a child I probably didn't have, that much trust in, like other things going on in my life. And when I was unsure about something, I always had my pastor or just a church in itself to go to. So, yeah, I had a good upbringing. I can't say I did much, though. I was a home kid. I stayed home a lot with my family. My dad kept it up. Yeah, he kept it like that often. We would go out sometimes, but it was always some family stuff. I didn't hang out with too many friends until probably, I want to say, like end of middle school, start of high school is when I really started getting out, socializing, and all that. But I had a pretty, pretty relaxing, straightforward upbringing.
Yeah, that's what's up. Like I had the same thing. I was a homebody, yet I was still protected in the comfort of my home, and I always spent time with my parents, my grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins. It was a fun time, a simple time where it was just fun, and it's just I love this county a lot. And most people they crap on it or they hate it. They're like, oh, there's nothing to do here and whatnot, but. I made the most out of my time here as a kid, and I do want to travel the world, see some things, but I could totally see myself coming back to Calvert County, Maryland, and raising my own family.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it because a lot of people do crap on this place. I'm not one of those people. That's what God, I feel, has asked us to do. Just make the most out of what He has given us because He'll give us better. We just have to appreciate what we have now. So. Yeah, man, I don't have any beef with Calvert County at all. I really enjoy the fact that I grew up here and I'm blessed, too, that I also grew up here, too. Because at the end of the day, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, but, yep, God, He made sure that I was born here, and I think that's awesome, so.
For sure, man. I always count my blessings, being able to know that I had a sense of security as a child. I didn't live on a street where, you could hear gunshots or people were getting killed and whatnot. I'm just so blessed and fortunate that God provided me with something like that. And I believe that, it's up to us to be able to, help those kids out in the future who don't have that sustainable lifestyle, give them that hope of encouragement. I do believe that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, but talk to me about your time in school. Were you a big, person who was into school, or were you not really into it as a kid?
I had my moments where I would kind of not like school because I preferred to do something else. But overall, I was a big advocate of school. I liked it a lot. I liked everything from the social aspect it brought you to the learning part of it as well, to the sports, getting it, involved more in school. I think that helped a lot. Everything school had to offer to me, I enjoyed a lot. And, yeah, I appreciated it maybe not all the time, but most of the time I appreciated it. And, it developed a lot of good habits within me. And it was fun going with playing sports and all that, too, so.
Right.
I had a good time.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Yeah. That's it, though. Yeah, I had a really good time in school. I liked, every bit of it. I miss high school.
Yeah, I can respect that. What I was going to ask was, what were some of the sports that you got into while you were in school that kept your mind grounded and also occupied, that also taught you some good stuff?
So I started wrestling around middle school, and I wrestled from 7th grade all the way up to my sophomore year. I also was doing track and wrestling track, and I did a little bit of lacrosse. I want to say it was my senior year, I believe. No, junior year. I did lacrosse my junior year. So only 3 sports, but those were enough to keep me occupied and very interested in going to school when otherwise I didn't want to go.
Yeah. Did you ever have any difficulty juggling both, because you were in school and then you were doing sports and then also you have to factor in your social life as well. Did you ever have any difficulty balancing all 3 of those?
Yeah, I can say for me, a lot of times my issue is I didn't really understand what direction I wanted to go into, whether it was I wanted to be more social or I wanted to learn more, or if I wanted to devote myself fully to wrestling. But I feel as if I was really trying to, dedicate my mindset to one of those things, and doing all those kind of made it, somewhat confusing because I didn't know what I, wanted to do. But,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what you say?
Oh no, I was saying that it's a difficult direction to figure out when you're young, just trying to figure out which path you should take.
Yeah, for sure. Looking back, I really wish I would have kept up with wrestling and even lacrosse to a certain extent too, because those things did help out a lot. Because I found myself when I was leaning more towards the school part of it, like, okay, I'm trying to focus on school. That's when I was starting to feel I was going with the motions instead of really doing what my heart was telling me to do.
Yeah, that's incredible that you had that intuition to follow what you wanted to do, really, because like I said earlier, it's very difficult to find your direction or your footing, really, with anything in life. I know with me in high school, it was difficult figuring out, well, should I go to this football game or this basketball game, or do I really just want to sit home and just be by myself and just reflect because it's been a long week. And it's a push and pull because you feel like you should be social like the popular kids, but you also feel like you should still be yourself at the same time. And I don't know, it's very difficult. I'm probably the only one who maybe dealt with it besides you, but who knows?
Yeah, it's a very hard thing to balance, Cedric. I know, like, I've realized with as much as I love wrestling, there's things like I didn't like about it, but I realized sometimes the things you got to do that you don't want to do in order to get to where you want to be. And I was more than willing to do those things with wrestling. It's just a matter of fact that I was trying to do everything else at the same time too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard, and you just have to, like I said, find that balance, figure out what you can do, how you want to devote your time to. Just like with school too. It's almost like, okay, do I really want to do this podcast episode, or should I do this 5-page paper that's going to be due in like a few days? And so you have to examine those pros and cons, and it's all about time management.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, talk to me about the importance of time management, actually, now that I just brought that up, because I feel like that's such an important thing in life. How do you view time management?
That is very important. That's a skill that I think everybody needs to have because, once you get older, you start just doing things you want to start doing more and more and more. It's like there's only so much you can put on your plate at a time. So to learn the skill, just knowing how to fit those things in and how much time you should dedicate towards that one specific thing, is definitely necessary in order to really get the full extent of it all. So, time management is very important. I can say for myself in my life right now, I'm getting a little bit better with it, but I definitely need to do that much better with managing it, my time and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, don't we all have to figure out ways to do, better things with our time? Like, I'm starting 2 winter classes next week, and I just got the syllabus and everything. I could be doing the work right now, but honestly, I'm just kicking back and relaxing. And it's just like it's those decisions, right? It's like, do I really want to pour all myself into my work right now, or do I want to wait until next week when I can tackle it and try to enjoy as much peacetime as I can now? It's all about balance, in my opinion.
Yeah, all about balance. It's like that prioritizing, like which one matters to you more, just relaxing or doing something that you know when the date comes or the time comes, it's like you did it, you're done. So it's like that instant gratification, or you just hold out until you can't hold on anymore. It's really hard to manage. I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat.
Right, exactly. Your time at Huntingtown, who were some of the key mentors or teachers that helped you along your way?
Hmm. Being at Huntingtown, I can't necessarily say if I have a specific teacher or anybody like that. I will say that kind of sitting back, just watching certain people, whether it was Gil or the the vice principal at the time. I forget his name, but he I like to know. I mean, him had a pretty solid relationship and everything. I mainly went because I didn't play any sports my freshman year when I was at Huntingtown. I was kind of to myself, just really socializing a lot, and just trying to get my work done. It was my first year in high school, so trying to make an impression on everybody, opposed to letting somebody really me being impressionable to somebody. But yeah, it was a good time. I made a lot of friends that way.
Right, I can respect that too, having that observant personality. You're not throwing yourself out there way too fast just to get your name known. You're observing different people, you're looking at their personalities, and you're trying to see which person is more suited for me and who isn't.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, I've always had that mindset of just being more observant. I thought it was a hindrance to me at first because I would notice all these people just socializing and, here I am in the corner kind of looking at everybody, not really knowing what to say. But in a sense, it really did work out for me because over time when I did start to socialize, I understood people's true colors and saw who they really were when I wasn't talking with them. So it really benefited me and helped me in a lot of ways.
Yeah. Observing is such an awesome thing. I think it's a great way to learn things, as you said. You develop a lot of good habits from it, and just learning how to go about things in a certain way. Also, I do feel like you learn a lot more too whenever you're observing, you let that thing really speak for itself, and you take it all in. Then you come out with your input about it.
Yeah, exactly. Talk to me about some of the hobbies that you like to do, some of the things that you enjoy in your personal time that gives you, a sense of mind and some joy.
hmm Um, I'm kind of like somewhat busy these days, always like working or having to go up the road and things of that nature. But what life for me is a hobby for me is really the only one, I guess. Right now, I'm in a placement for really wrestling, but I really like working out. I always had a love for it coming up as a kid. That's why I really started wrestling and all that. But I didn't start going to the gym until I want to say that like December of my senior year. So it's somewhat fairly new. About a year or two I've been doing it, but I absolutely love it. Though. I work out like every day that I'm able to, when I can. That's my idea of sitting back, relaxing, taking time for myself, definitely working out, and hanging out with my girlfriend. She's cool too.
Yeah, I can respect that, working out, right? It's nice to be able to let out all of your energy and your emotions, whatever you're feeling or whatever kind of like baggage you're carrying into the gym just to be able to, work it all out, sweat it all out. That's an incredible thing to do. And with me, I'm with jogging. I'm not really big into weightlifting and all that, but, being able to put my compression pants on, bundle up, and just jog however far I want to run, it's incredible for me. It gives me peace of mind. And plus, I'm working my body out. So I like doing that a lot.
Yeah, exercise is such an amazing thing. I get such like I want to say a high from every time I do it. It never gets old, and plus it's very productive. You're only benefiting from it, really. So, it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. How is your diet like? What are some of the foods that you put into your body that helps you maintain the certain physique that you have?
hmm It doesn't necessarily correspond with like how I work out and my regimen for that. I definitely need to do better with my eating habits. But what I'm going for now is I'm kind of trying to, right now when it's cold, bulk up a little bit, but kind of cut the stomach down. So I'm eating far less than what I should be eating. I've been running a lot more, and I've just been eating less carbs, so a lot of protein. I don't eat that much calories, but I've been kind of on a calorie deficit type thing right now. So yeah, but if I'm being entirely honest too, I kind of go about eating any way I want to, so long as I just maintain with the gym. I've found that I've been pretty much okay. I don't go off the rails, so I don't eat like sweets or, I'm not a huge advocate of like processed things. So the minimum I do eat is pretty good. So just like a lot of carbs, fish.
Yeah, honestly, I pretty much eat whatever I want to eat. It's a free for all for me, but I also balance that out with fruits and vegetables. I try to drink as much water as I can. I know with me, with the holiday season, I've been eating awful. I've just been eating so much. I've been eating out so much, and also eating some fruits here and there, but I've been eating out a lot, which is something that I really haven't been doing in the last few months. So, definitely next week, once I start getting back on my grind again, I'm going to start eating right. But, so long as I'm working out, I'm jogging, doing my push-ups and sit-ups and whatnot, I know I'll be all right.
Yeah, I know for eating, it's pretty much half of it, if not like a percentage more. But yeah, if you just keep that mindset, you'll be fine. 100% good.
Yeah, factual. Talk to me about your senior year. You were getting ready to graduate. What made you choose the College of Southern Maryland, CSM, which is a community college for people who don't know? What made you choose CSM as your school choice at the time?
Yeah, so I didn't exactly know what I wanted to do, and I had the opportunity to go to different schools, but yeah, I wanted that college experience, but I really wanted to go there and have a meaningful time there and make sure I was using my time wisely, because I don't necessarily come from a family with a whole lot of money and all that stuff, so I wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing and why I was doing it. And at the time, I wasn't too sure 100%. Like I was saying earlier, it kind of going through the motions, knowing that my family really wanted me to go to school and that it'd be good for me too, and that everybody else was as well. So I took CSM as a way of me doing the feel of things, still actively learning, and but not having to go out use a lot of money. I feel like I was wasting my time not knowing what I wanted to do and it hurting at the same time. So I just looked at CSM as that offer or that opportunity, and it's so close to me too that it was perfect for me to do. So it was just really accessible, easy.
Yeah, for sure. I use CSM as my way of getting my foot in the door with going to Bowie State University. I really wanted to get a feel for college and what I was going to experience. I always had a love and a passion for school, but it's always something when I always get into something new, I want to get my feet wet. I just want to see, how is this going to fare out? How am I going to, turn out when I do it? And so I'm glad CSM, was the right option for me because I was able to save money, not, take a chance on myself going to a big time university and end up flopping and just wasting my money and time.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with community college. It's fine. It's really good. I enjoy. I plan on going back eventually, but my time there, you know, it was pretty good. I got my feet wet. I'm just like you. That I feel as if I have to. I do a little bit of everything to see if I really like it or whatnot. Yeah, CSM definitely was that too. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing, though.
When I started off at Bowie, I started taking 3 classes. I was there part-time because I wasn't so sure how I was going to fare out, going to a big-time university full-time. My mindset was, well, at CSM, I was this big fish in a big ocean. Now I'm a small fish in a big ocean at university. Like, I'm not trying to drown or anything like that. So I got my feet
Yeah.
wet. I got really acquainted with my professors, and I love the atmosphere of everything, even though I wasn't on campus. So I'm looking forward to embarking on a full-time schedule this upcoming semester, challenging myself and just getting more acquainted with the university.
Yeah, it's really good to hear, sir. I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, this is difficult times right now, but to hear somebody be excited about it and really looking up to it that's a good thing.
Yeah. Talk to me about the importance of taking chances, taking risk. I think that's something that a lot of people are looking to do into this new year, but it's really hard and it's really difficult to do, just taking that leap of faith. So talk to me about the importance of that.
Yeah, I think that's huge important. I don't think, or I'll come at it from the angle that I am. I don't want to be too complacent or too quote unquote happy where I am right now. I don't think that I'm the best that I could be, and I think that there are necessary things in my life that have to happen, or in anybody's life that has to happen to make you better. And it's different for everybody. And I don't necessarily know what those things are for me. Some of them I do, and not all of them, but it's important to get out your comfort zone and try to be better. Never be too complacent with where you are and what you're doing right now. I think that's why God throws things in our obstacles in our life anyway to evolve as a person. We should always be evolving, constantly changing. He never said he'd make life easy, but he made us a better person for it. So,
man, you hit the nail right on the head with that. I do believe that God does throw certain challenges in our way just to, make us grow and make us develop into good, strong, Christian warriors, because we are on the battlefield and, God will never leave us or forsake us. He'll never give us anything that he feels that we can't handle. So, it's just a matter of being able to take that leap of faith and try to weather the storm. It's easier said than done. It's absolutely difficult. I'm living experience of that. But, I've learned that when you come out from that experience and you make it out okay, you feel completely better about yourself.
yeah, absolutely. The core thing of that is just give yourself to God, because if you give yourself to Him, you can absolutely trust Him. And that feeling of looking at the storm, it's going to be horrible, it's going to be bad, but you're going to get out of it alive and okay. That's a good feeling, having God to, have your back and all that. Only God knows our potentials, even though, we might think we can be at this level, and that might be high to us, but God might just want to take us that much higher. So, He does everything on purpose. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, I've always learned that, ever since I've graduated high school, right? It's going to be 3 years in June, which is crazy. But I've always learned that every time I stray away from him and I try to do it myself, it never really turns out well for me. So, it's having the ability to just put my pride aside. It's very natural for us men and women too. It's very natural for us to be very prideful and think that, we can do the work on ourselves. But, that's not how God wants it for us. God wants us to go to him. He doesn't aspire for us to be perfect. We're already perfect in his eyes. So just being able to have that accountability and go to him, that's what continues to allow me to keep going.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, everybody needs something to believe in, and God definitely is that. I think He's the best thing there is to offer.
Yeah.
In the world, just trust and absolutely give yourself to. There shouldn't be an ounce of us left when we really decide to, let God make our decisions and lead us, because He won't lead us astray.
Yeah, for sure, man. We're coming into the new year. It's January 1st, 2021 at the time of this recording. What were some of the lessons that you learned from last year in 2020?
In 2020, yeah, that nothing, stays the same forever. That at the start of this year, I was not an entirely different person, but I was a different person. I had my thoughts, my plans, what I thought the future has held for me from just a couple months ago, what I envisioned it looking like. But nothing necessarily goes the way you want it to go, or not all the time at least. Or just life isn't perfect. This isn't, we're not living on heaven. We're not in hell either. So I learned that just to make the most out of what God's given me, and basically what we've been talking about this whole time, just perspective, and that things aren't meant to be easy necessarily.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Just trying to be present with your situation and just trying to, be mindful of what you have. Because I've learned in my times when I've meditated with God that, you have this right now. I can take this away from you if you don't want it. And it's like, no. I want it. So it's just a matter of shifting your perspective, trying to think, positive of it. Because I've also learned that God can take away your blessings and He can give your blessings to someone else.
Yes, He can.
Yeah. And so, into this new year now, right? It's 2021. What are some goals that you have for yourself for the new year?
Goals? We talked about it a little bit before, but my whole new thing is when it gets too hard, don't want to run away from it. So, like, the example is my bishop, when that happened, ran away from the church when I felt like school was, becoming something that I didn't think it was supposed to be. I ran away from that. The things in my life, I don't want to run anymore. I kind of want to I need to give myself to God more, but, tackle the problems, start becoming a little bit more of a man about things, and, just going forward.
Yeah, for sure, man. I can respect that. And so my final question to you before I go ahead and let you go is, if you could offer a piece of advice to someone out there trying to step outside of their comfort zone, but they have a certain type of fear about it, what would you say to that individual?
I would say that God is the best thing that will ever happen to your life, and I know that you should devote your life entirely to Him, because the questions that you need answered and the things that you might be confused about, the Bible will definitely answer for you. And if you give yourself to God, then everything will be okay.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. I believe quiet time with the Lord, away from people, He's going to give you the answers that you are searching for. And even if you don't have the energy to pray, like my grandfather was telling me about this the other night, was, if you feel like you don't have the energy to pray, just really sit down and talk to God. Talk to Him about how you feel, or write your feelings down or your emotions down. Find some way to put it out in the atmosphere for Him to, hear you, because He knows how you're feeling. He's watching down, and He sees how you're reacting to different things. But if you have the ability to, put it out there in the atmosphere and just talk to Him about it, He'll give you the answers that you're looking for.
Yeah, 100%. I talk about God so much, because I really think He is the best thing that ever happened to His work. So, I'm always going to promote Him. But, just an incident of let's say somebody's not too religious, the advice I would have for them. But, basically what we were saying earlier, too, that things are going to happen, but react to it in a way that, doesn't necessarily, identify that, the circumstance you're in. If that makes any sense. Just, keep your head high.
Absolutely, for sure. Well, Asaun, I want to thank you so much for your time today. It was an honor being able to have this conversation with you, and I know you're going to do real big things in your future with God on your side.
I appreciate it, Cedric. Thank you for inviting me on the show. I really appreciate it, man. I had fun. I like to talk. maybe in the future, come back part 2, you know, I give an update on my life. Be like, hey, I'm here now.
Yes, sir, man. 6 months. We're going to do it for July. 6-month update. We're going to do it like that.
Yes, sir. That works for me.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
All right, take care. Thanks a lot.
Yep. All right, y'all. This wraps up this edition of the CedTalks Podcast. Stay blessed and stay encouraged this new year, and I'll be back with y'all soon.